Hello, 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 hello. Hello. Am I audible? Am I audible? Shall we start the class? Shall we start the class? Hello. Shall we start the class? Okay, thank you. This class is related to public administration theory. So, what do you mean by public administration, history and nature of the public administration? So, if you go to the origin, its origin lies with the civilization itself. When the human civilization has started, from that time, the administration has worked in that regard. The administration, which starts with the word, and administration is so simple word, it has been used commonly. But if you see that as a subject matter, it starts with the Woodrow Wilson's article, The Study of Public Administration, with 1885, that article. And according that onwards, the public administration came as a subject. And public administration, as such administration is so normally used in every matters, every affairs. And public administration or private administration, both are related to the administration. And administer, the word administration has come from the administer. The R plus minister, that is the minister, is come from the Latin word which means to serve, and its essential element is the purpose and cooperative action. We can say it is an administrative activity where there is a purpose and there is a cooperative activities, and accordingly it's commonly divided. So if you go to the definition, so public administration means it is a cooperative effort towards achieving some common goal. So commonly public administration is divided into two types. One is public administration, another is private administration. In common word, the term administration is used a body of person or in charge of affair, that is Indian administration or Nehru administration or present government's Modi's administration. So it is used, commonly used by the name or by a body of person. It also use a branch of learning, the intellectual discipline, that is the administrative science. So the sum total of work undertaken to implement a policy, produce or a good and service. For example, railway administration or personal administration or police administration. So it means that a sum total of work undertaken to implement the policy or the produce. It is also used as a art of management, that is called the personal administration. So public administration, with this concept, it has started from a long, so it is from the human civilization, as I told you from the starting. So it has been used for a long term. So public administration, it is the study of management of public agencies, because when you have used the word public before the administration, it means it is related to the public agencies that carry out the public policies In order to fulfill the in order to fulfill the state purpose in the public interest. So it is the study of management of public agencies that carry out public policies in order to the state purpose in the public interest. So it means that it is used. It is a specialist academic field also. But you can keep in mind, it is a non-political bureaucracy operating in a political system. Generally, public administration, in common people knowledge, it is the bureaucracy. So it means that it is a non-political bureaucracy operating in a political system, concerned with both policy making as well as policy execution. Generally, it is to be called that the administration, it means the execution of the policy. It also covers all the three branches of the government, although it tends toward although it tends to be concentrated in the executive branch, but it covers all the three branches. So in that regard, if you go to the Dewey Waldo definition, because to understand, it is interesting to know the definition of the subject. So it means in the first in that regard, we can see that. So so it means that as I told you, first definition, it is the E.N. Gardner says that administration is a long and slightly pompous word. It has humble meaning, for it means to care for or look after people, to manage affairs in determined action taken in pursuit of common purpose. If I'll if I say that administration, one second, I'll just connect from the another system due to some technical issues in this. Am I audible now? Yeah. So we can say that so administration, if you see that administration is the capacity of coordinating many and often conflicting social energies in a single organism, so adroitly that they shall operate as a unity. So if you go to the definition of the LD White, the art of administration is the direction, coordination, and control of many persons to achieve some purpose or the objective. So the art of administration is the giving a direction. After the direction, it is the duty to coordinate and control many persons to achieve some purpose or the objective. In the word of Luther Gulick, administration has to do with the getting things done with the accomplishment of defined objectives. So in that regard, then comes to a mind, before we discuss about the meaning and definition, nature, scope, and importance of public administration, we'll try to know what is administration, what is organization, and what is management. Because sometimes we used to confuse within these words organization, management, and administration. As these terms are often used interchangeable and synonymously, it is pertinent to know difference and distinction between these three terms. According to William, administration is the force which lays down the object for which an organization and its management are to strive and the broad policies under which they are to operate. It means that administration is the force which lay down the objective for which organization and management are to strive and the broad policies under which they are operate. And if you see that, what do you mean by organization? Organization is a combination of the necessary human beings, materials, tools, equipment, and working space, and apparatus brought together in systematic, effective correlation to accomplish some desired objective. And management is that which leads, guides, and directs an organization for the accomplishment of a predetermined object. So, in a nutshell, if I say administration is force, organization is a combination of necessary human being, material, tools, and we have to brought this all together in a systematic, effective correlation to accomplish some desired object. And management is that which leads, guides, and directs an organization for the accomplishment of predetermined object. To put the above in a simple term, administration set the goal, management strives to attain it, and organization is the machine of the management for the attainment of the ends determined by the administration. I think now we are clear. So, but some scholars have a different view about the administration and management. According to Peter Drucker, he says that management is associated with the business activity which has to show economic performance, whereas administration is associated with the non-business activity like activities of the government. The others view that administration is associated with performing routine things, is known setting in accordance with certain procedures, rules, and regulations. The management is associated with performing functions like risk taking, dynamic, creative, and innovative function. Some scholars of public administration are closely associated with the first view of administration, that is, determining the function. Management, in other hand, is the executive function that primarily concerned with carrying out the broad policies laid down by the administration. And organization is the machinery which coordination is established between the administration and the management. in that regard, and then there is, if you go to the, I have discussed with the definition, Woodrow Wilson, who is known as the father of public administration. According to him, public administration is a detailed, systematic application of law. It means that when we'll apply the detailed and systematic the law, that is called the duty of the public administration. So every particular application of law is an act of administration. That's why it is commonly used. L.D. White, according to him, public administration consists of all those operations having for their purpose the fulfillment or enforcement of the public policy. Luther Gulick, who is another thinker of public administration, he says that public administration is that part of science of administration which has to do with the government. It concerns itself primarily with the executive branch, where the work of the government is done. Though there are obviously problems also in connection with legislative and judicial branches. So Dwight Waldo says that public administration is the art and science of management as applied to the affair of the state. So there is many odd definitions. In sum total, if you see, public administration is the non-political public bureaucracy operating in a political system. Non-political public bureaucracy operating in a political system. Same way, public administration deals with the end of the state, the sovereign will, the public interest and law. Public administration is the business side of the government and as such concerned with policy execution. But it is also concerned with policy making. So you cannot say policy making is the only job of the legislature. But policy making also related or concerned with public administration. So same way, that's why it covers all three branches of the government, although it tends to be concentrated in the executive branch. No doubt it may be cover all three parts, but maximum public administration is to concern with the executive branch, because the major job of the public is to execute the law, the policy, or whatever the legislature or the judicial decision. So it provides a regulatory and service function to the people in order to attain a good life. So it is interdisciplinary in nature as it drawn upon the social science like political science, economics, and sociology. And if you go to the nature of public administration, why we will study the nature? Because before knowing any subject, we have to understand the nature of that subject. So there are two views regarding the nature of public administration. One is that is integral and managerial. Integral view of administration is the sum total of the, it is encompasses or sum total of all the activities which undertaken to achieve the objectives. They will explain this integral view. It means that administration is the sum total of all the activities that may be manual, that may be clerical, that may be managerial,
or etc., which are undertaken to realize the objective of the organization. So, in this view, all the act of officials of the government, from the attendant to the secretariat to the government and the head of the state, constitute public administration. Basically, this view is supported by Henry Fao, L.D. White, and Dimmock and others also. But if you see, this view has a problem. The public administration includes whole complex activities undertaken to achieve any common purpose. Thus, a heterogeneous mass activity, no bound of unity except than common purpose. There is no bound of unity because only common purpose is the unity. And it is, if you see in this, it means it includes from the peon to a top level secretary. It looks like very vague and unscientific view. So it hinders the development of public administration into a distinct academic discipline. So these are two, 3 points which are the problem with the integral view. Then comes your managerial view. According to the managerial view, it encompasses only the managerial activity. That means the top persons. So it will explain, then it will come that according to managerial view of administration, managerial activities of people who are involved in planning, organizing, commanding, coordinating, and controlling constitute the public administration. It means only managerial, who can plan, who can organize, who can give the command, and who can coordinate and control. So all these views are called managerial views. So this view regarded as administration as getting things done, not doing things. But integral view includes all, from peer to secretary. The secretary is involved in the planning process. They also include in the integral. So basically, managerial view means the managerial active, the top boss. So this view regarded as administrations are getting things done, not doing things. So Luther Galley, Herbert Simon, Smithberg, and Thompson are supporting this view. So basically, the managerial view is not shortcut. We can say that it excludes the non-managerial activities such as manual, clerical, and technical activities. The two views differ from each other in many ways, as I told you. So, as a study of public administration, it examines every aspect of the government's effort to discharge the law and to give effect to public policies as a process. It is all the steps taken between the time and enforcement of the agencies assume jurisdiction and the last break placed, and as a vocation, it is organizing and directing the activities of other in a public agency. Till now, we have broadly we came to know that if you see that public administration, it embraces all the activities of the government. Hence, as an activity, The scope of public administration is no less than scope of state activity. So, in that regard, if we will see that it is in this context, if we will see that it is in the modern welfare state, people expect many things, a wide variety of service and protection from the government. So, in this context, public administration provides a number of welfare and social security services of the people. Besides, it has to manage government owned industries and regulate private industries. So, public administration covers every area activity within the ambit of the public policy. Thus, the scope of public administration, so the scope of public administration is very wide in modern state. Coming back to the scope of public administration, so the scope of public administration as a discipline that is subject study compromises the, because you will see that the scope of public are very wide in modern state. But if you see as a subject discipline, it includes the post curve view. If you see the post curve, what do you mean by post curve? Several writers, I'll just take some water and I'll come back.